Hello and welcome to Generational Wellbeing with Dr. Lum. Thank you for joining me here today, where I provide you with simple, practical tips on how to create sustainable, healthy habits. So recently, I was reading an article that explained the risk factors in women's health, and they listed a few things that came as no surprise: cardiovascular risk of cardiovascular disease, bone health. Emergency contraception and postpartum depression. But today I want to talk about the cardiovascular disease, because what the linked to the risk of cardiovascular disease was migraine with aura, as opposed to obesity and eating habits and stuff that we've all heard every day. So today I want to talk about the importance of self-care and prevention, because we know that migraine headaches especially there's a high link and connection to stress levels and lack of sleep and all those things that would trigger migraine headaches. So today we'll be talking about self-care as a means to really help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, migraine headaches, and all the other things that come in, because stress is one of those accepted things that have become a norm. But we know it's not a norm, because increasing research is showing that not dealing with it is impacting our health and our well-being. So thank you for joining me here today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll go ahead and get started with self-care. So why self-care? Because like I said, where the studies are now increasingly, most things are now showing to the importance of really taking care of that stress aspect as the foundation, really, and before you start any wellness journey. I've come across so many people who are overwhelmed because you either start eating healthy and then something happens that's stressful, and before you know it, you go back to those patterns that are not really supporting your overall well-being. So how do we start? The foundation really is your emotional well-being. So you can start doing that by accepting where you are. Acceptance is one thing that we've not really talked about. It's easy to say, I'm here, but everybody else is doing this, or that person is doing it that way. Oh, my doctor said I should do it this way. Or my sister did it that way. So sometimes it's with all the distractions going around, it's easy to look in the outside and forget to look at the person in the mirror and say, what do I need? What does my body need to get peace today? What does my body need for self-care, self-love today? What does my body need to be able to carry me, to lead me through the functions of whether it's taking care of my kids today, whether it's going to work today and being able to function at my best today? So sometimes we ignore that particular question and that particular item, and then we go around just doing stuff out of what we should be doing, or we ought to be doing, based on what other people's expectations are of us. And guess what? That becomes very overwhelming, becoming stressful, because our body is not in support of those actions. So how about we hit the reset button and start looking from the inside out, and really looking at that person in the mirror and saying, what do you need today? So, and that could be very different for everybody, right? And everybody's starting line is super different. When I started running, I would not go compare myself to someone who'd been running a 5K. I remember my first 5K. I did not want to show my timeline to anybody, because I took a long time, but that was my start. That was my very first 5K. And with further training and with more running and stuff, I have improved over time. So here it is learning to accept where you are, being grateful for where you are, and then taking it one step at a time and finding what makes you really happy, what brings you peace and stuff. So when it comes to healthy habits, as far as stress management, which is a key thing we're talking about today, is what brings you peace. You can go in meditation teacher can say, oh, you have to meditate 5 minutes a day, 2 hours a day. And sometimes starting with meditation is difficult. I remember when I first started it, I was so agitated. I was thinking about the things I needed to do, about all the things that I should be doing instead of meditating. But I started out with just 5 minutes a day, and it was difficult, but eventually that 5 minutes became 10 minutes and 20 minutes and 30 minutes. And it doesn't mean that I do that every single day. Every single day I ask what I need, but at the end of the day, in a week's say for example in a 1 week span, I run 3 times a week. And on the days I'm not running, I'm either meditating or doing yoga or anything else that brings me peace. That's my personal time. That's my reset time. That's when I get my mindset ready for the day. And a lot of times we ignore that part, and it's very essential, because when your mindset is ready for the day, everything falls in place. Think about a day where you woke up late, hit the snooze button, you're running late for work, the kids are not acting like they're supposed to, and everything goes overwhelmed. Once you start your day that way, it's like all the way to the end, it's just like nothing seems to be going right, because we didn't start with our mind in the right place. So hitting that reset button is essential in all aspects of life. Before I started medicine, I used to work in the lab, and everything we did every day before we started running any kind of samples or anything was we had to calibrate those equipments. Just like if you're working in a department store, before you start, you have to go back in the range and make sure everything is in the right place, where it's easy for someone to come and pick it up and do what they need to do. Think about walking in a store where everything is everywhere. It takes you more time to go ahead and find even the right size or the right color and stuff. So at the end of the day, you're wasting time trying to sort out and find what you need to find, as opposed to spending that 5 minutes maybe at the start of the day, and it saves you a lot of time throughout the day. It saves you a lot of energy throughout the day. So start where you are, accepting where you are, and being grateful for where you are is huge when it comes to stress relief. The second thing is being grateful for where you are. We ignore the power of gratitude. A lot of times we look at what is not, or where we should be when we're not. Oh, I should have been at this place right now, and my kids should be talking right now, or this should have happened right now. And that place of should have, would have, could have, it's very stressful. But being grateful for my kid is healthy today. I am healthy today. I am here today. I have a family today. I am able to walk to the mailbox today. Those are little things that we take for granted, but there are people who are not able to do that. So practicing gratitude, at least, 5 things you're grateful for each day. It's super helpful, where it resets. It's part of that resetting process where we're going out not thinking about what should, but where we are, and being accepting and being grateful for where we are. And then thirdly, forgiveness. The power of forgiveness is huge. uh, and that means forgiving yourself first, because when you walk around with unforgiveness, it's stressful, right? It's like your perspective, your mindset changes, where everything is against me. It's like walking in the space of regret, fear, shame, and all of that stuff. Those are all disempowering, and those are all things that will leave you in a stagnant stage. But standing here and saying, I forgave myself for my past, is easier to forgive than everybody else for whatever they're doing. One of the things I do with resetting, and whether it's my time for running or my time for meditation or time for yoga, is I set myself up to forgive. It's like no matter what comes today, no matter what anybody says, I set my mind to forgive. And that changes the way you see people, the way you interact with people. It changes everything. It's so empowering and so rewarding, right? So today, take care of yourself, whether it's giving yourself permission to spend 5 to 10 minutes alone time, or giving yourself permission to engage. I say spend time alone. I'm more introverted. You're spending alone time, or your personal time, maybe engaging with someone you really care about. That could be your personal time. Again, it has to be something that comes from the inside out, as opposed to something you should or ought to do. It should be something that is rewarding and brings that joy back to your life, as opposed to something that increases overwhelm. Hope this was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I am going to be launching a live webinar on July 16th. I will have the link to register for it in the as an attachment in the box, please register and join me, where I will be talking about healthy habits. We'll talk about sleep, exercise, and so many things you can do to help you start your wellness journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to sign up for the live webinar on July 16th. Until next time, I am Dr. Lum.